Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first shooting video in North Dakota. So today we are in the beautiful Cheyenne National Grassland, just about 45 minutes south west of Fargo, North Dakota. So that's about how far you have to drive to find any kind of rolling terrain anywhere other than here, and it's pretty flat, so it's pretty nice to get here and get at least a little bit of terrain, some nice places where we can get up on some banks and shoot out without being any danger to anyone. We've got plenty of backstops, and it's just nice land to look at. And I also want to say that we are in North Dakota and the wind never stops blowing, so if the wind is awful in this video, I do apologize, but I'm trying to do the best with what I got. So this year I decided to look at some new cartridges, looking to get something that's kind of a do-all rifle, do-all cartridge, probably a little bit more centered towards deer size game, whitetail, mule deer, but also something large enough for elk. And if you've seen the title of this video, you know one of the cartridges that I've decided to take a look at this year. That is going to be the 6.8 Western. So we'll talk about ammunition availability and stuff in other videos, and as far as what the individual specs are from each ammo manufacturer, but just know that today I'm going to be shooting the Winchester, the long range ammunition for the 6.8 Western. I've had this ammo for, I don't know, probably going on 6 months now, it seems like. Basically when they announced the cartridge, I got on Gunbroker and found some. The ammunition was released super early, but it's been forever waiting for rifles that's chambered in 6.8 Western to come about. That finally happened, so I'll show you what I got. So the rifle that I ended up finding was the Browning Xbolt Hell's Canyon long range. This thing is basically the one I was looking for. I was kind of stuck between this one and then the Stalker long range, which is just black, because honestly I'm not a huge fan of camo stocks. But the Stalker was a little bit harder to find, and I just kept going back and forth on what the better value rifle was. I liked that the Stalker had the bigger muzzle brake, because that's one thing I'm kind of curious about with this cartridge was, long extended shooting. Is it going to get rough on the shoulder? Is it going to be kind of a pain to basically to practice with and stuff? Because that's no good for no one. But in any case, the Browning Xbolt Hell's Canyon long range, it is basically the Hell's Canyon that everyone knows. It has the less expensive stock. It doesn't have the Macmillan or anything, but it does have the little bit heavier barrel. So same barrel that was on the Xbolt Max long range that I had in 308, and I really liked that rifle. Shot really well. So we're gonna see what this one will do with the 6.8 Western. For a scope, I decided that, I've had a lot of luck out of everything Leupold, even down to the Leupold VX Freedoms. Supposedly they do all the same testing and everything with the cheaper lines as they do with the more expensive lines. So durability wise, they should be roughly the same. And honestly, from what I can tell, the quality of glass isn't that far off. Now, if we're talking 2,000 yards, maybe even 1,000 yards, you probably are gonna want some more glass on there. But for hunting purposes, I think that these VX Freedom lines are actually a really nice scope for most everyone. And just so I can get the most out of this cartridge and be able to kind of really pinpoint, is the accuracy that great or not, I did get this one in 6 to 18. Not my ideal hunting range, but if it ends up that this rifle really shoots well, may go to, maybe a more expensive scope with a broader range, maybe a VX5 or something like that. But in any case, I think that for sighting it in, really seeing what the rifle's capable of, the 6 to 18 VX Freedom should be exactly what I need. And for a bipod on this one, I went with the Magpul. Kind of on the fence about it. It seems like a good idea in theory. It is a little bit kind of rattly and stuff, but once you're actually down on the ground, it seems to be pretty sturdy, so we're going to see how that works as well. Just want to say I have shot this rifle about 6 to 10 times, I think, just basically getting it somewhat lined in, ran a couple brushes through it, shot a few, cleaned it again. So it is a fairly clean barrel now that we're dealing with that has had a few shots through it, so hopefully accuracy should be getting about where it's going to be. A lot of people say you need 20 or to 50 rounds or 100 rounds. I think that nowadays any good quality rifle maker is going to have a pretty slick barrel from the factory, but it never hurts to be, a little bit extra sure. So I did shoot a few, clean a little bit, shoot a few, clean a little bit. So now we're going to fire a couple of 3-shot groups just to see, what we're looking like. And also I do want to say, I realize that most people say you know, they want to see a 5-shot group or a 10-shot group, whatever. Even with a little bit heavier barrel, it's still not a huge barrel by any means. In my opinion, if I can shoot 3 shots with a few minutes between each shot and get good accuracy, that's really good for a hunting rifle, and that's exactly what this is. It's a hunting rifle. It's not a bench rest or in my opinion, even a 1,000-yard rifle. Granted, you can definitely shoot 1,000 yards with an Xbolt Hell's Canyon long range or the regular Hell's Canyon. It's just not that it's intended for that. It's intended to be a little bit more of a precision hunting rifle. So I got 3 rounds loaded up here. Threw some earplugs in, which I would anyway, but you definitely need it on these particular rifles. That radial brake is not the most effective brake, but it still makes it quite a bit louder, so it's not very fun to shoot without earplugs in. So first thing I notice is that brake, even though I try to hang the barrel off the bank a little bit here, definitely still kicks some stuff up, but that's why you wear eye protection, obviously. And I should say that I do have target set up at 100 yards, and I mean, I'll show you the target in the end. I just don't have enough cameras to show you everything at the same time, but start it with a fresh target. Gonna do 3 shots. We'll take a look at it, make any adjustments if we need to, and then do another 3 shots. So that one was quite a ways from the first one, so I don't know if you're somebody that believes in shooting a fowler shot after you clean or not, but I'd be curious to know where this next one goes, and if it goes where the second one did, we might shoot a 4th one just to kind of see. But we're looking at about over 2 inches probably apart, so we'll see where the 3rd one goes. That one was definitely a little bit closer, probably about 1 inch. So I'm gonna let the barrel cool just for a couple minutes here. We may shoot one more into that spot there and just see. But the first one was definitely quite a bit off, so we'll see if it was just needing a fowler shot or what the deal was. So that one wasn't a whole lot better. I'll grab the camera, we'll go down there and take a look at what we're working with so far. So real quickly, we're gonna walk down here, check out this target so far, show you what we're working with, give this barrel plenty of time to cool down. But so far, not super happy. So as you can see there, we've got 4 shots. The farthest to the right was the first shot. The 2 in the center at the top were the next 2 shots, which as you can see are roughly 1 inch. So I was hoping that 3rd one was gonna go in there, but it didn't. So the 3rd one is that one. Obviously we're gonna let the barrel cool all the way down and give her another 3 or 4 shots and see what's happening here. But so far it's not super impressive. I will say that when I was firing just the first few shots through the barrel, I did have one group that ended up being about 3/4 of an inch. So I guess we'll find out if that was just luck or chance or if something is going on today. Feel really solid on the setup as far as the bipod on the mat, and feels really good. There's a little bit of a crosswind, but it's been pretty consistent, and honestly it's not blowing that hard, maybe 5 miles an hour. So at 100 yards we shouldn't be having stuff like this happen. I also do want to add that this is Winchester's Expedition long range ammo. Personally, I've not had a ton of luck with Winchester's ammunition at all. It's not shot for me very great in the past. That's not to say that this stuff isn't amazing, but it's just the way it is. I've never had it shoot super good. Unfortunately, that's the only ammo I have for this rifle right now. But the flip side of that is that was really the ammo that I wanted to shoot out of this rifle, because looking at the ballistics, the Expedition long range from Winchester is way better ballistically than all the other stuff that's offered currently. Granted, I would take a less superior ballistically round that shot really well over one that shoots like that is good ballistically. But like I said, we're still going to give this stuff a decent shot and see what it's capable of in this particular rifle anyway, and we'll go from there. All right, so we've given this barrel plenty of time to cool down. Got the mag full again, which the mag holds 3 rounds with the 6.8 Western. So we're gonna fire off at least 3 more, kind of see what's going on. Also want to add, I mentioned the wind there a second ago. The wind's actually almost right in our face, so I don't think that it's really gonna throw it off like that. I don't think that the issue that we're dealing with right now is wind related. So we'll just take our time and try to be as steady as possible, which all those shots honestly felt really good. So I don't think that's it either, but the barrel is now, it's plenty fouled, so we can take that out of the equation. It's cooled off, everything feels nice and solid and steady. So let's fire 3 more and see what they look like. All right, so I don't see the last one. I'm guessing it probably went through one of the other bullet holes, but not looking super great so far, to be honest with you. All right, so as expected, one of them was through another hole, or at least touching it. But the first shot, that one right there. Second shot, which again, 2 inches, maybe more than 2 inches apart. Third shot, I believe, is the bottom one there. So, I mean, we're talking really large groups. So just to go back over kind of what happened there, that was 7 consecutive shots with letting the barrel cool down between the shots. No adjustments were made to the scope in those 7 shots. So if you count the first shot, which would technically be the fouler shot, that was a 3.5 inch group. If you take that fouler shot or first shot out of the group, it was still a 3 inch group. So we're talking 3 inches, roughly 3 MOA at 100 yards. So again, guys, I'm not a professional shooter or anything, but I did go to college on a rifle shooting scholarship. I know what I'm doing. I can shoot a rifle well under 1 inch if it'll do it. This combination just isn't doing it. It does suck that the Expedition long range with that 165 grain AccuBond long range bullet isn't shooting nowhere near my expectations for this rifle, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to give up on it. We're going to try some of the Browning, the 175 grain stuff. I think it's got the Sierra bullets in it. Again, I've never actually shot Browning's ammunition. I've just heard not so great things about it, but that's not to say that I won't try it. So we'll get some of that in and go from there. Ultimately, I've never had an issue with a Leupold scope, but if nothing will shoot this thing, we'll swap it out for a different scope and go from there. The only issues I've ever had with scopes was if a mount or a ring was loose, and those are mistakes that I've not made in a long time. So everything should be good with the way that thing's set up. Ultimately, if we can't find any ammo that'll shoot in it, we will try swapping out the scope. And if that don't work, we'll send the rifle back to Browning and see if they can find something that's wrong with it. Because ultimately, you know, all these things can have lemons. Nothing is going to be perfect. I have had really good luck out of the Browning stuff in the past, but that's not to say that I didn't get a bad one this time. So again, if you like this video, hit like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out some of the previous videos, and definitely check out the next videos, because I'm about to make another one right here with another cartridge that I'm super excited about. So definitely stick around for that.